Hello viewers and listeners once again. This is a lesson on social and environmental studies, and here is the exercise for the previous lesson before today's lesson. That is the exercise on the Trans-Saharan trade. Question number 1. The Trans-Saharan trade was between the people of Western Sudan and the dash dash. The Trans-Saharan trade was between the people of Western Sudan and the dash dash. The answer is the people of North Africa or the North Africans. It was a trade between the people of Western Sudan and the North Africans. Number 2, name any 2 commodities used in the Trans-Saharan trade. Any 2 commodities that were used in the Trans-Saharan trade. The answer is gold is one of them, and salt was also one of the goods that were used in the Trans-Saharan trade. Number 3, the medium of exchange during the Trans-Saharan trade was dash dash. What was used as a medium of exchange? The answer is cowrie shells. Cowrie shells was used as a medium of exchange. So let's look at the lesson for today. Our lesson for today is ethnic groups in the Gambia. And we are going to look at Fullers. That is the Fuller origin and migration. The Fuller forms the second largest ethnic group in the Gambia with 22.6% of the population. Most Fuller in the Gambia came from the Fouta Djallon area near the source of River Gambia. Fullers came to the Senegambia region at the time of the ancient Ghana Empire. And the first Fuller state was Fouta Toro, located in the northeast of Senegal. This was originally known as Tekrur, and they later migrated to form kingdoms like Fouta Djallon, Messina, Bondu, Labe, Timbo, and Fuladu. Fouta Bondu lays between Fouta Toro and Fouta Djallon. Many historians believed and stated that Fullers originated from outside Africa. They were originally Berber-speaking people who came to settle in the Senegal Valley with their cattle. As we know, they are cattle rearers. The Fuller is also called Pol, Fulbe, or Fulani in various parts of West Africa. Fouta Toro at first was ruled by the Tukulur, followed by the Mandinko, and later by the ancient Ghana Empire. Around 1512, Kolitenge Laba, a descendant of Mansa Sunjata Keita, seized power and established his capital at Silla, a former state in the Ghana Empire. That is, Silla was a former state in the Ghana Empire. The first Fuller kingdom in the Gambia was founded by Alpha Molo, who is also referred to as Molo Balde, a Dingima bond from the state of Wasulu in Mali, founded by the Balde dynasty. And the last king was Musa Molo. Musa Molo was the son of Alpha Molo. He was the last ruler of the Fuladu kingdom. Musa Molo's tomb is found in the Gambia in a place called Kesrekunda, which is in the Central River region south. In the Gambia, Fullers are mainly found in eastern Gambia, that is in the Upper River region. This is where they are mainly found, although they are found in other places, but their high concentration is in the Upper River region and also Lower Fuladu West District of the Central River region. A Fula woman, that's a portrait of a Fula woman. The Fuladu Empire. Alpha Molo and Musa Molo ruled the Fuladu Empire. Remember, Alpha Molo was the founder and the last ruler was Musa Molo, who was the son of Alpha Molo. It was founded in 1870 up to 1903. That was the lifespan of the Fuladu Kingdom. And this Fuladu Kingdom also came up after the collapse of the ancient Kabu Empire. Remember, the Fulas attacked Kabu Empire, and after winning the battle, that is the Battle of Kansala, then that is where the Fuladu Kingdom came about. That's why some part of the Gambia, which were part of the Kabu Kingdom, later becomes part of the Fuladu Kingdom. Alpha Molo, also known as Molo Egebalde, was born in the 1820s at Dagama from the state of Wasulu in Mali. So you can see the Fuladu Kingdom has a connection to Mali Empire. His son Musa Molo was a citizen of old Kabu state of Firdu. These Firdu were also a particular dialect of the Fulas. And you can see the connection of Kabu to that of the Fuladu Kingdom in the Gambia. Alpha Molo's uprising starts in 1867 to 1869. Musa Molo was exiled to Sierra Leone by the British colonialists in 1919. Now, this exile was as a result of the British realizing that Alpha Molo was stopping their mission in the Gambia. This is why they sent him to exile in Sierra Leone so that they can do their operations in the country. Because as they were engaging people into cash crop production and other activities, the jihadis, which includes Musa Molo, were also going around to convert people into Islam. So they have seen, the British come to realize that because of these jihads, their people were not concentrating on what they're supposed to be, that is the cash crop production. He returned to the Gambia in 1923 and died in 1931. Musa Molo's fame started from 1850s. That was when he becomes popular. From 1850s to 1931, when Bakari Demba, a former king of Fuladu Kingdom, sent all the Islamic scholars out of the Fuladu Kingdom because he wanted to give up Islam and to introduce the African traditional religion, that is paganism or animism. Musa Molo attacked him. He attacked Bakari Demba, who was trying to convert the people or to give up Islam, because Musa Molo fought in order to establish Islam. So after establishing Islam, then Bakari Demba wanted to turn things around. This is why he attacked him, but he escaped to Nyani and established a village called Bakari Demba Kunda near Jimara Bakadaji. Bakari Demba died in his village, that is his village of Bakari Demba Kunda. Alpha Molo was a traditional king, which means he was a traditional ruler, but he was ruling with Islam, and founder of the Fuladu Kingdom, as said earlier on, who led a revolt against the Mandingo chiefs of Jimara in the mid-19th centuries. Now, these Mandingo kings were the pagans. The Mandingo kings of these kingdoms were pagans, and Musa Molo's mission was to spread Islam. As a result, he attacked them in order to conquer them and spread or to complete his mission. His forces conquered Jimara, Tumana, and some other small chiefdoms during the 1870s. The Fula states in the pre-colonial period were known as imamate. Their states were called the imamate states. And these imamate states were headed by a person with the title called imam. That is, an imam was the head of this imamate state. This imam was also referred to as Almami. And Alpha Molo died in 1881. Kingdom of Futa Toro and Futa Bondu. Futa Toro was between 1500 to 1776, and Futa Bondu was 1690s to 1800s. Kingu, Bolibana, Maka, Pajadi, Maru, Gomi, Sanga. Reasons for Fula migrations to the Gambia. What were some of the reasons that causes the migration of the Fulas to the Gambia? The Fulas migration from Futa Toro to West Africa and the Gambia particularly is due to the following major reasons. One, benefit from the trans-Saharan trade. Now, this trans-Saharan trade was very popular at this time, and many people were benefiting from it. So the Fulas also, in order for them to enjoy this trans-Saharan trade, that's why they migrated to the area that was connected to the trans-Saharan trade. So their migrations to the Gambia and West Africa, for that matter, was to benefit from the trans-Saharan trade. That was one of the reasons. Another reason was to convert the Kabu animists. Like the Nyanchos and the Korings who were ruling Kabu were real pagans. So the Fulas migrates to their region in order to convert them into Islam. The likes of Janke Walisane, who were all pagans. This is why they were attacked by the Fulas in order to convert them into Islam. To capture fertile land for their animals. These Fulas were cattle rearers. They were cattle rearers. And where they were, there were no enough pastoral zones where their animals can feed on. And this side of West Africa, that is around the Gambia or West Africa, the western part of Africa, was very, very fertile. As a result, there were a lot of pastoral zones there. So this is why the Fulas came in order to provide food for their animals. Too many people in Futa Toro by the time. Their migration was also as a result of too many people living in Futa Toro. So in order to decongest the place, this is why some of the Fulas decided to migrate to the Senegambia region to set up new kingdoms. Another mission for the Fulas migration was to set up new kingdoms. This is why Fuladu Kingdom was formed in the Gambia, which was founded by Alpha Molo. Now, the different Fula groups or clans, there were various Fula groups and clans that are even still existing. We have the Habobi, Mabobi, Fulbe Boroji, you have Fula Futa, you also have Fula Jeri, you have Laube. These Laubes were the wood carvers among the Fulas. And the Gaulos were the praise singers, that is the griots, etc. and etc. Now, here are some of the points of view about Fulas, which you need to know. Futa Toro's former name was Tekru. That means Futa Toro was formerly called Tekru. Tekru Kingdom was founded by the Tukulur clan. The Tukulur clans, or the Tukulur among the Fulas, were the ones who founded Tekru. Koletengilaba founded the Nyanke dynasty. That means he was the founder of the Dinyanke dynasty. This Dinyanke dynasty was also a ruling clan that was established among the Fulas. The capital of the Fuladu Kingdom was at Keserekunda. This Keserekunda is presently in the Gambia. And Musa Molo was the last king of Fuladu. Remember, Fuladu was formed by his father, who was Alpha Molo. And after the death of Alpha Molo, Musa Molo took over. The three Fula Imamate states in West Africa were Futa Jalon, Futa Toro, and Futa Bondu. Futa Bondu is found in the upper Senegal. Fula political organization. This means how Fulas organize themselves, or in short, how they govern themselves, how they were governing their societies. The Muslim Fulas who conquered non-Muslim states established what is called theocratic states. These theocratic states were the states that were ruling with Islamic laws, that is the Sharia. They were using Islam to govern their places. Fula states were called imamates. Their states were called imamates. That's why the leader of the imamate state was called the Imam or the Almami. The imamate was a kind of a new state in West Africa because the people did not know this before. Before the migration of the Fulas, they were not using the imamate state. So the coming of the Fulas led to the introduction of these imamate states. And they were governed by religious laws, that is Sharia. An Imam or Almami ruled the imamate states. The Imam was the religious leader of the mosque or communities. Now, as they are also, or as they are leaders of the state, they also double as the imams, or they lead people in prayers in the mosque. The Fula had established three imamates in West Africa, that is the three imamate states in West Africa, and this includes the imamates of Futa Jalon, you have Futa Toro, and also Futa Bondu. So these were some of the imamates, the three imamates, Fula imamate states in West Africa. A council of elders elected the imam of each state. This is how they select their imam. A council of elders will come together to select somebody to be the imam. He was chosen from among the leading families, that is the noble families, which we will talk about in our subsequent slides. He was well educated in Quran. That means the imam is always somebody who is well educated in Quran because he also lead people in prayers in the mosque. The imam who ruled in the name of Allah was a military commander of the state. He led an army that was based on the strict system of compulsory services. It means people are not recruited in the army voluntarily. It means it has to be a force. Whoever they choose for you to be part of the army, you must be there. The imam also collects tax, which are levied on goods. He also acquired arms, and these arms were used for the protection of the state. He also built Quranic schools in order to propagate the religion, because in those schools, that's where they were teaching the religion, and distribute land. The imam was also responsible for distribution of land. Now, the social organization of the Fula, how the society was arranged. The social structure of the Fula is divided into rigid caste system, a very strong caste system. And in that, you have the free men, you have the artisans, and you also have the slaves. It means the society was divided into three, where you have the free men, you have the artisan group, and you have the slave. But at the top of the social ladder, that means at the top of the group, that's where you have the free men. These free men at the top of the social ladder were known as Rimbe. The Rimbes were the top. They included the royalty from whom the leaders were chosen. So you can see, is from the free men, that is the royalty, where the imam or the almami is chosen from. The second groups are the Artisans. These Artisans are known as Nyenyubi. The Nyenyubi were the Artisans, and they are the second class in the Fula social structure. They were organized according to their occupation, that is the work that they do. Some of them are praise singers, some are smiths, while others are leather workers, and even weavers and carvers. Now, these people with this occupation are the group or are the people that comprise the second class of the Fula social structure, which is called the Artisan group, who are referred to as the Nyenyubi. At the bottom of the social ladder, that means the low class there, were the slaves, and these slaves were referred to as Machudo. The Machudos were the last in the social ladder, that is the Fula social ladder. And that does the lesson for today. And here is the exercise for the lesson, that is the Fula origin and migration. And here are the questions. Question number 1. The main occupation of the Fula ethnic group is das das. What is the main occupation of the Fula ethnic group? Most of the Fulas, question number 2, most of the Fulas in the Gambia came from das das. Where do they come from? And question number 3, Fulas constitutes das largest ethnic group in the Gambia. Fulas constitute das largest ethnic group in the Gambia. And that is the end of the lesson. Once again, I thank you all for your kind attention.